Shri Krishnaya Namaha, Shri Gopi Janavallabhaya Namaha, Shrimad Acharya Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha, Shri Gosai Ji Paramadayalave Namaha, Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinta santanahantāro yatpadāmbujarenavaha sviyanam tanyajācāryan pranamāmi muhurmuhu yadanugrahato jantuhu sarvadukkhātigo bhavet tamaham sarvada vande Shrimad Vallabhanandanam Ajñānatimirandhasya Jnānāñjana-śalakaya Chakshurunmīlitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namami Hrudaye Sheshe Leelakshirabdishainam Lakshmi Sahasra Leelabhi Sevyamanam Kalanidhim Chaturbhishcha 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 Tribistatha Shadabhirvirajate yosau Panchadha Hrudaye mama Shri Krishnam Paramanandam Dashalila Yutam Sada Sarva Bhakta Samudhare Visfurantam Param Numaha Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Krishnaya Adbhuta Karmane Rupanama Vibhedena Jagat Kridati Yo Yataha Buddhi Preraka Krishnasya Pada Padmam Prasidatu Dhyana Samartha Jivanam Asmakam Sarvada Swataha Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarathaschartheshva vignaswarat Tene brahmarudayadi kavaye muhyanti yatsurayah Tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam Satyam param dhimahi. Good things take time to happen. You cannot ever get immediate results by taking certain segment of efforts. Generally, there's a trend in the Sanatan Dharma that someone wants to do a Bhagwat Saptah and it's done after people have passed away. So we have a habit of saying in the memory of someone, this Bhagwat Saptah is being organized. But see, the beauty about this family, that despite we are trying to remember Shri Gulabsi Bhai, the motto of this katha is not restricted to him. The motto of this saptah is not restricted to him. While Devyani ji was having a conversation with my mom, with my dad, they came with this proposition that Adi, they want to do a Bhagwat Saptah in English. I'm like, whom are you testing? Are you testing them or are you testing me? Why testing them? How should I explain everything in English? That's the first question. And the second question, who will prepare for it? Talking religion, talking Sanatan Dharma in English. It's no less than a PhD approach in life. Have to choose words carefully. You know why? Because the language is very poor. See, even if I'll have translations for you, you'll feel something is missing. Some essence is missing. And those essence won't be substituted by a different language altogether. So I'll use some words which will be from the primitive side of it, which will be from our own homeland, which will be our own well-grown, which will be ancient, which will be archaic. And yeah, I'm sorry, I come from North Bombay. I have a different accent. I have not studied in a CBSE or an ICSE school. I've studied from a state board school. So if US people can understand my language, I'm assuming you'll cooperate with me. And if you can't, then we can find someone. But actually we can't. I just got appointed. So we are in a Haldi Chandan for next 7 days. Haldi Kumkum for next 7 days. We're committed to each other, and this is my appointment letter. So I have nowhere to go. I'm assuming you also don't have anywhere to go. So remembering the person who was blessed by Shri Krishna Shankar Shastri ji, for whom he didn't start his katha until he came. He was reciting shlokas for 15 minutes, only in the wait of Shri Gulabsi by coming for the katha. So remembering the man of the family, for the first time ever in Pushtimarg, for all those people who belong to Vaishnavism, especially the path of grace, who believe in Srinath ji, we've created history today. We've created history. So you might feel that, some 50 people in a room, how is history being made? History is being made by utilizing a different language altogether. Back in the time when the original Bhagwat Saptah took place, it was roughly less than 48 hours. Somewhere less than 48 hours. And right now, we will be doing a crash course on Bhagwat Ji. Because the duration is 21 hours? And I'm supposed to concise that 84-hour information in 21. In other words, you're going to give your exam and I'm just doing last-minute revision with you guys. So we're creating history by experimenting a new language. We're creating history by gathering our family members over here. We're trying to give justice to something which is beyond justice. Something which is beyond our imagination, something which is beyond our acceptance, something which is beyond our logic. And my youth has a trend that they want to understand God with logic. I just have one question. Have you understood your boyfriend and girlfriend with logic? Have you understood your partners with logic? Have you understood your mate, your inmate, your intimate person in life with logic? You might be tired of their habits in day. You might be tired of the way they behave. But you still love them selflessly. You might have distances amongst yourself, right? You might maintain certain segment of boundaries with them. But still there's indispensable love. There's so much selfless love for them that our logic also goes away sometimes. But when it comes to religion, when it comes to dharma, when it comes to Krushna, when it comes to seva, when it comes to rituals, when it comes to yagna, the first thing that comes into the mind is logic. That if I do this, will I get something in return? Oh boss, you studied so many years, did you get something in return or what? Apart from a degree and a piece of paper? You made 10,000 amount of investments, were you guaranteed success? Were you guaranteed profit? You took a risk. The only difference is there's no guaranteed success over there. At least there's some guaranteed assurance over here. And do you know what is that assurance called? Okay, let me tell you something about me. I used to be an educator. I've taught 14,000 students. My classes are generally two-way in interaction. And especially this is your area of language, which is of your comfort. I'm expecting some responses from that side. That's why you don't see any musical instruments over here. Hey, you might be wondering, I'm not gawa vada kya? We're the entire team of singers. No, we don't have a team of singers. We don't have a team of singers, sorry. So there's one man asking questions and the entire crowd answering those questions and the entire crowd asking questions and one man answering those questions. That's how we build a relationship over here. So yeah, please help me. What is the assurance that Dharma is providing to you? I'll repeat my question. What is the assurance that Dharma provides to you? Discipline, fantastic, okay. Peace of mind, okay, lovely. Moksha, someone said moksha. Yeah, okay, considered. Fantastic, faith. A higher purpose, lovely. Unconditional love, amazing. And apart from that? જેને પ્રશ્ન ન સમજાયો, I'll rephrase it for you. ધર્મથી તમને શું મળે છે? What is that assured return that you get because of Dharma? Hope, fantastic. Hope. Forgiveness, lovely. Gratitude, yeah. But there's one thing that you need to live this life. Hey, you'll have to be a little louder. My ears are a little... I'm getting old. Anchoring, okay, fantastic. Guidance. A lot of people might have thought, hey, he's not speaking, he's making us talk. But there's one thing that you need in life, and which can mostly solve all of your other problems in life. Happiness, okay. It's the end goal. Confidence, yeah, we're going in the right direction now. Now we're going in the right direction. Reason, okay. Faith, love, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, more, a little more. A little more. Sorry? Kindness? No, mommy. Guidance? Nah. How many of you have done darshan of Ganpati? I say yes or no. How difficult is it to say yes or no? Yeah, say all of us, fantastic. What is this mudra called? Blessing. Translate it for me. What is this mudra called? Ashirvad. Abhay. Abhay. What does Abhay mean? Bhai means fears. What does Abhay mean? Thank you. Thank you. Fearlessness. Fearlessness. Ketla logo daro jo? How many of you are scared of something or the other in life? Oh, maru shu thashe, what will happen to me? Oh, what will happen to my children? Oh, what will happen to my business? Oh, what will happen to my life? Oh, what will happen to my family? All of you? Somewhere or the other? Yeah? Grandparents are wondering what will happen to my grandchildren. Grandchildren are wondering what will happen to my parents. And the middle generation wondering what will happen to both of them. Is that your life right now? Yeah? And if you're not worried about yourself, I'm sure you're worried about the society. Phalanani dikriનું શું થયું? What happened to that girl? What happened to that guy? That's what you are worried about. And this is what Bhagwatam can do for you. Bhagwatam can ensure fearlessness. So yeah, I'm on a deal with you right now. If you listen to me for next 7 days, I'll tell you one thing, you'll be fearless. Provided you listen to me and not hear me. Yeah, so I need something from you, and what's that? Attention? No. Focus? Yeah. A little bit more. Not just focus, I need something else as well. Yeah, commitment? Interaction to for sure. Behat jodi ne. Yeah, otherwise I'll sleep. I don't want to sleep, that's why. Absorption? Fair. Concentration, fair. I need a little faith as well. That this guy over here who's young, he's trying to teach me life lessons. Who the hell is he to teach me that? I don't want that attitude. I don't want that attitude. Who is he to tell me that I can have an assured life? Yeah, sometimes when young people say something, you're like, I don't want to consider this. So along with commitment and concentration and focus, I need faith. Because what I'm here, I'm not here to create a stand-up comedy for you to entertain you. I'm here to give you life lessons, and that's why this Bhagwatam has been organized. So far, so good? Yeah? And people who want to know who am I, my name is Aditya. You can call me Adi. Do you need my introduction? Chaitanya Bhai is graceful enough. He'll give you my introduction about it. You can hear it at the end of the session. Why am I here? What am I doing? Just want to tell you one small thing. I have a legacy of 500 years. My 16 generations have been into this. Okay? So something is coming from blood. And something is coming through grace. The way you are experts in your field, I'm in mine. And along with you, this is my test because I have to surpass 21 hours in convincing you why Sanatan Dharma, why Bhagwat, why Pushtimarg, why Srinathji, and why everything else. So far, so good? Can I hear a yes, yes? Thank you. Yeah, that's my signature statement. If I ask you something and the answer is yes, you are supposed to say? Thank you. Very good. Yeah, so congratulations to the family for not just thinking about your ancestors, but also thinking about the future. The credit goes to you. The credit definitely goes to you, that you were not just thinking about elders, ancestors, you were thinking about your family, and you've thought about a million other people who are actually excited to study about Bhagwatam. On social media, I've got 500 plus responses just for this one katha, because this katha was supposed to be organized in English. So the definite credit goes to you for this particular thing. Keeping that in mind, I've made some things for you. Sometimes it might be in Gujarati, sometimes it might be in English. But let's try and get a perspective about why Bhagwatam? Why Bhagwat Saptah? And why not anything else? Why not Garud Puran? Why not Bhagavad Gita? Why not Ved ke Path? And why only Bhagwat? God, Krishna himself has said, that's Gita, right? Hey, how many of you all know Gita and Bhagavad are different? How many people who don't know that they are different? Fantastic. So I'm going to help you out. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are two separate things. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, while Bhagavatam is an independent Purana. You might have studied during your school days 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, 1 Mahabharata, and 1 Ramayana. Right now, we're not focused on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is something that Bhagavan Shri Krishna narrated to Arjun in middle of a war, Kurukshetra. Bhagavatam by itself is an independent Puran, which is considered to be the last Puran amongst the lot of 18. And it's near to the Kali Yuga part of it. So you'll see a lot of Krishna-based stories. And why Bhagavatam? We'll try to answer that tomorrow, today, at the end of the session, hopefully. But yeah, why Bhagwat Saptah? Fantastic. Parikshit was one of the reasons why he could hear 7 days. That's why we are listening for the 7 days. Fair. You don't have more than 7 days? Fair, I hear you. Fair, I hear you. Okay. Apart from that? Yeah, they can come here. Please. So we only have 7 days. That's for our Bhagwat Saptah. But tell me one thing, is your death certain or uncertain? Do you know when is it going to come? Do you want to hear a story? I can't hear you. Can't still hear you. Once upon a time, every story starts like this, by the way. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, it was during Mahabharata days, prior to the war. Yudhishthir and Bhimsen, they were sitting together. And it happened so that one Brahmin visited Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir said, you know what, come tomorrow, don't come today. And Bhimsen was worried. Why did he give such a statement that you should need to come tomorrow and not today? So Bhim thought about it, and then he decided, you know what, let me celebrate today. And why should I celebrate? So he ensures he gets some drums and starts beating the drum himself, and he's enjoying, he's in his mood. You know how hefty Bhimsen is by himself. And now Yudhishthira is asking, he's inquisitive about this. Why are you dancing? He's like, Dada, you only ensured that you've won over the death. You know that you're not going to die tomorrow. You've beaten the death. That's the biggest thing that you can do on this planet Earth. And Yudhishthira realized, oh, you know what, I made a mistake. I should have ensured that the Brahmin doesn't go empty-handed today. So ladies and gentlemen, life is really short to have regrets in life. Ensure you take care of things right now. Why 7 days? Because that's the amount of time that Parikshit had, and that's why it is called a Saptaha. Sapta refers to 7. Enough is said about Shrimad Bhagwatam, but my heart lies in Sri Vallabhacharyaji's lotus feet. Right? We happen to be serving Sri Vallabh since 500 years. His descendants, Sri Gosaiji, we were Sri Gosaiji's Sevak, our ancestral family. So we have a close-knit faith and belief in the lotus feet of Sri Mahaprabhu. Now, why the lotus feet of Sri Mahaprabhu? Sri Mahaprabhu ji has prescribed a format for us in context with learning, in context with belief, in context with gaining more knowledge about Dharma. And how does it work around? So it's prescribed in this format. That there are 4 scriptures that are considered to be authority for us. It starts with the 4 Ved, which was actually 1 back in the days. Then comes the Bhagavad Gita, as we mentioned earlier. Someone said about higher purpose of life. And that higher purpose of life is actually covered in Vyasa Sutra. If you can see that in blue, or if you can see the Brahma Sutra in black over there. The higher purpose of life is actually covered over there. All the acharyas before Vallabhacharya were only focusing on these 3. In case if people don't know which are the various acharyas that have been present prior to this, it's Shankaracharya, it started with Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Madhvacharya, and the last one was Sri Vallabhacharya. So all the 4 acharyas prior to that were only focusing on the first 3. They never focused on the 4th one. Why they never focused on the 4th one? Because bhakti as a concept, devotion as a concept, was only merely in books. No one thought that bhakti is as prominent as it could be in this age and time that we are in. Having faith in God, having faith in Lord, having faith in Thakurji, and chanting his name or serving him can actually give you a purpose to live in this life. No one thought in that direction. It was Sri Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya who decided that Bhagwatam has its own space, Bhagwatam has its own ultimate authority. Now let me give you an analogy. When we study Vedas, we come to know that there are certain doubts which are not getting solved over there. So whatever doubts are not getting solved from Vedas are actually solved from Bhagavad Gita. While studying Bhagavad Gita, you still have certain doubts. Those are answered from Vyasa Sutra or Brahma Sutra. And after studying all of these 3, you still have doubts. Bhagavad is the ultimate authority to answer these questions. Now I'll give you a simple question. Does God exist? How do you know? Now, can you talk from the logical side of the world? You cannot have an effect without a cause. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I want logic people to talk to me. I don't want faith people to talk to me for time being. Logic people, how many of you believe God doesn't exist? Please, anyone? Double hands up. No one? See, the beauty about Sanatan Dharma is, there are a lot of people in this world who say God is nothing but an energy. Yeah, it's an energy that's governing us. It's an energy that's guiding us. It's an energy that's, channelizing the entire world. It's ensuring the sustenance of the globe is taken care of, or the entire universe has been taken care of. The beauty about Sanatan Dharma is it accepts that thought. Let's just say tomorrow, if you are not someone who believes in God, but believes in energy, you are still a part of Sanatan Dharma. A lot of people say you are Nastic. It's not true. As far as you're accepting the authority of energy, that the energy is something that's actually governing the entire universe, you are still someone who believes in God. The problem comes that you don't believe in the form of the God. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Form, sakar, swaroop, roop, something that you can see visually. The problem lies over here. And then comes the other segment of the world, which actually believes in the form, which goes to Srinathji and does darshan, which has Thakurji at home, and believes in the form, believes in the shape, believes in the touch, believes in the devotion aspect of it. And the beauty about that is Sanatan Dharma is so flexible that it allows you to have both these approaches depending on your scenario, depending on your condition, depending on your knowledge. And it is not biased either. However, if you want to know the secret sauce or the secret recipe of achieving that Almighty, the answer is right with you. The only thing that is going to stop you is your acceptance. So here's my next question to you. How do you achieve God? Or how do you achieve that Lord? You surrender? Fantastic. You remove your ignorance? Fantastic. That's nice. Oh, I'm liking the vibe of this space right now. Everyone is so silent. Everyone is so thought-driven. What is he talking? Why is he talking like a lecturer to me? Oh God, this katha was supposed to be so simple. I told you, you invited me in English. You come to Gujarati, I'm smiling, laughing, giggling, left, right, center. English matlab philosophy will come like this. It's very obvious. So tell me, how do you achieve him? Or how do you achieve him in case if you believe? You trust him? Fantastic. Bhakti? Nice. Seva? Do you want to know the secret sauce? Do you want to know the secret recipe? Yeah, someone is obeying me. Thank you. Appreciate it. Do you want to? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, I'm going to recite Lord's name and you're supposed to say Jai behind that, okay? What are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to say? Shri Govardhan Nath ki. Okay. The secret sauce is this. Love. The secret recipe is love. Tell me one thing. Did the Almighty make this universe? Does he need you? Is it ensuring that the universe is in the right shape and space? Does he still need you? What can you offer to him? Can you offer money? Can you offer him clothes? You want to hear a story? Thanks, yaar. I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan. Thank you. So I'll tell you a story. One day, uh, I'm sure you might have heard of someone called as Gusaiji. Shri Gusaiji. He's the son of Shri Vallabh. So one day Gusaiji was going to Govardhan, and he had some samagri in his hand. He had something for Lord to partake. And while coming back, he took a lot of time. Instead of 1 hour, he took 1 hour 45 minutes to come back. Next day, son of Gusaiji, that's Shri Girdharji decided, you know what, I'll go this time. My father's really old now, so I don't want him to take the kasht. I don't want him to take the efforts. I'll go this time. And this time he goes to Girirajji to offer something to Lord. He takes double the time to actually come back. Now I want you to guess what could be the reason why he took double the time to come back. He didn't know the way back. He was self-aware. He had his own GPS. What do you think would be the reason? Ego? So, okay, fair. You're going in the right direction. He found something on the way which actually distracted him. That's why he got late. No, not really. Yeah, everyone's going to be a script writer today. Everyone is thinking different ways of actually having a conversation with Almighty, which is cute, which is nice. So, I'll tell you what actually happened. When Shri Girdharji was about to enter Girirajji inside, he realized there's a line of people. There's a line of people who actually want to offer something to Lord. And Gusaiji was given a little priority to go offer to the Lord and come back. And Girdharji understood his mistake that, you know what, judging my parent because he's old is not a right thing to do. There are thousands of people ahead of me who want to do the same thing. The only difference is the people who were there in the line didn't have anything to expect in return from the Lord. Even though the Bhakt cannot offer anything to God, has the guts to say, Tane kai જોઈએ છે? Do you need something? Knows that none of these things are mine. None of these things are mine. But still has the guts to say, Lord, do you need anything? I'll do whatever is in my capacity for you. Isn't that what you do for your own family? Isn't that unconditional love that you have for your own partner? Isn't that unconditional love that you have for your own children? Isn't that unconditional love that you have for your own grandchildren? Don't you go beyond boundaries and leaps to do something for them just out of one word, and that's love. So all logics are kept aside. One thing was missing, and that was love. And that love aspect is considered under Bhagwatam. The entire purpose of telling you this entire story was that love is something which is completely evolved. Shrimad Bhagwatam is nectar. It's amrut at the end of the day. It's a nectar of life. Any letter, any shloka, any adhyay or any skandha that you pick up, it will only have one factor, and that's love. And while narrating this love to you, I want to help you understand one math. You're smart enough, you come from industrial backgrounds. Try to read this. Try to read this. I have to talk 341 chapters, that's 4 minutes 30 seconds for one chapter. And at the same time, I'm also responsible for you to not yawn, for you to not sleep, for you to not get lost, for you to ensure that your mind doesn't revolve around anywhere else in the world. Maybe you're sitting over here, but your heart is actually lying in the Wall Street or maybe in New York City or Muscat for a matter of fact, because the family comes from there, so why not? So just somewhere back in the mind, your mind is like, I have to take care of that thing as well at the same time. So you have to deal with time, have to deal with challenge, have to deal with language, have to deal with your interest, and have to deal with my intent, and moreover have to deal with him, which is the biggest amongst all of these conditions put together. But yeah, welcome to this Bhagwat Saptah. This was my premise in the preface of what Bhagwatam really looks like. And I'm going to start this entire Saptah by quoting you something by Sri Vallabhacharya ji. It's called Shastram Avagatya Manovagdehaihi Krushna Sevyaha. For all those people who don't know what this means, there you go. Know your scriptures. Serve the Lord with what? Your mind, your speech, and your actions. How many of you are keen on psychology? Okay, how many of you are keen on self-help? Yeah, Aditi is a reader, right? Where is Aditi? I can't see her. Is she here? Yeah, you're a reader, right? I saw a bunch of books in your house. Yeah. So I think your interest lies in a lot of reading. Do you read self-help? Fiction? Okay. Any non-fictional book reader over here? Do you read? What do you read? Robin Sharma? I'm not mocking, I'm asking genuinely. What do you read? Anyone in the crowd who reads non-fictional books? Did I say something wrong or what? I like Robin Sharma, by the way. Okay, fair. Lovely. I'm sorry? Okay, lovely. Others? Nice. Okay. Fair. Bhagavad Gita माहिती है क्या? We're reading all Western authors. Have we studied our own homeland life principle of management and how to take care of your own self? The self-manual, the biggest self-manual in the world of 720 verses called Bhagavad Gita. Why do you think someone is suggesting you to read Bhagavad Gita? I'm sorry? Okay, values offered. It's a manual at the end of the day, fair? But that's one book which is translated in Urdu as well, for a matter of fact.
I still feel that it's not the when we read it in English, they try to go into some channel which you really get lost into, which you said earlier. This is what I've been found in the English translation. There's no simplicity of the translation of the Bhagavad.
As much as it is claimed to be simplified, it's actually not. Fair. Fantastic. Biggest motivation, direct words of God. Fantastic. You know why you're not being able to study Bhagavad Gita? Because you don't have a mentor. Now imagine this scenario, okay? You are in a battlefield, Arjun is sitting right in front of you, you are Krushna, and you'll be like, read this and you'll be fine. Imagine this, warfare. Kaurav Sena, 11 Akshoyini, 7 on the other side. One person, Narayan. And Narayan is like, this is my prescription, read this 670 verses or 720 verses, your life will be solved. Does it work that way? The biggest benefit that Arjun had, he had a mentor. His friend, his guide, his philosopher, his mentor was right in front of him. He was in his lotus feet. He surrendered himself. And because he had a mentor, Bhagavad Gita became easy for him to understand. कोरा कागड़ पर लखी ने राखो. I'm guaranteeing you, the minute you find a mentor and you read Bhagavad Gita, let me tell you one thing, that manual will solve most of your problems in life. Now for all those people who are interested in psychology, I'd like to help you understand the concept. The concept is mind, speech, and action. How many of you have an alignment of what you think, of what you talk, and what you do? It's a self-evaluation test. You don't need to answer this question to me. Yeah, it's a self-evaluation. You need to tell your own self. You need to tell your own self how many of you all think, talk, and act in synchronization. My mind says I love you. My talk says I love you, but my action doesn't prove that I love you. Disparity. This is exactly the quote that even Vedic literature has. Tasmat purusha yan manasa vigacchati tad vacha vadati tad karmana karoti. Whatever action is happening and whatever you're assuring that you'll do as an act is actually born in your mind first. It might be anything, right from eating food to selling a stock to earning profit in business or being in a relationship with someone. The thought comes in your mind first, goes through your voice as a speech, and eventually becomes your action. And that's why these elders continuously say, saru saru bolo, shub shub bolo, shub shub bolo. Because it's the energy at the end of the day. It's the energy at the end of the day that you're attracting towards your own self. So know your scriptures, align your mind, speech, and actions for what? To serve the Lord. Now, I have a question for the crowd. Please help me answer this. Who's Krushna? The ultimate? The boss? The creator? He's the avatar? Yeah, your we'll debate. Your we'll debate. Son of Devaki and Vasudev. Cute. હું કોણ કૃષ્ણ દત્ત અને હિનાનો દીકરો. Sorted. What about Yashoda and Nand? Who's Krishna? Self? Nice. આપણે કૃષ્ણ છીએ? હોય તો મને ચરસવાજ કરવા છે, for sure. Who's Krishna? Teacher? Fantastic. Paramatma? Lovely. A friend? Don't you guys recite that verse? Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. What do you say then? Tvameva bandhu shasakha tvameva. And then? Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. What are you defining over here? Tvameva mata. Mata refers to mother. Pita tvameva. That you are a father. Tvameva bandhu. Cha sakha tvameva. That means you are a friend. Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva. Tvameva sarvam. Sarvam. Mama deva deva. You are everything to me. But it still doesn't answer my question, who's Krishna? All pervasive. Tell me one Lord in the world that you pray as a kid. Can you think of any? Can you think of any, Anant? Any Lord in the world? Bal Ganesh. Apart from that? Hanuman got loved. Bal Hanuman and Bal Ganesh got loved because of the series and the TV series that you have seen recently. Hanuman is a Chiranjeev. And I'll tell you why, even if you consider Bal Ganesh or Bal Hanuman, Ganesh is the first prayed. The first prayed god. In any puja that you do, Ganesh is someone whom you will pray first. In the very same puja, you will also pray Hanumanji as well, because of the directions. But then comes this one Lord, only for the people who believe in Krishna. The word get divided, I'm sorry it's in Sanskrit, but you see that word Krushi at the start? Krush. And then Nana. That's the bifurcation of the word. Krushna refers to A, the one who can attract, and also behold that attraction for you at the same time. Attraction is easy, but holding that attraction by itself is difficult. And then a word is being utilized over here is called Parabrahma. Now what is this Parabrahma? The entire universe is made out of this Brahma. The entire universe is being taken care of by this same Brahma. And this entire universe is going to go back to this one source, and that is again called Brahma. Enough is said about him, but my question is, why him? Why not Mahadev? Why not Ganesh? Why not Brahmaji? Why not Indra? Why not Surya? Why not Chandra? And why him? Yeah? Because he's also us. Okay? Fair. He's an incarnation. He has a human form. Okay. Fair. See, if you are a let me put this analogy in front of you. You take up the entire history of Sanatan Dharma and see how Devtas have been barter exchanging penance for something in return. Tell me one Rakshas who hasn't prayed a god and got something in return. Take Hiranyaksh, take Hiranyakashipu, take Ravan, take Kumbhakarna. They wanted something, they got something in return. And who goes to clean the mess? Vishnu. Until now, we were told that Vishnu is an incarnation of Krushna. Krushna is an incarnation of Vishnu. The tables have actually turned. For all those people who believe in Vallabhacharya, for all those people who believe in Path of Grace, for all those people who follow Pushtimarg, let me tell you one thing. Krishna is supreme. Krishna created Vishnu. If you ask Vishal Bhava Nadwara, he'll also tell you the same thing. He'll also tell you the same thing. That it's Krishna who created everything, and Vishnu is an avatar of Krishna. What we have studied in our school days, Bhagwan no 8mo avatar, એનું નામ છે Vishnu. Vishnu no avatar છે Krishna. The 8th incarnation of Vishnu is considered to be Krishna. This is what you have studied till now. But when you read Bhagwatam, you will realize that Krishna is divine, he is the supreme, and all the gods and goddesses have actually come from him. Vishnu comes from Krishna, Brahma comes from Vishnu, and Shiva comes from Brahma. but no one spoke about it. Or even if people talk about it, we're not that aware about it. Would you like to go to the finance minister when you can directly go to the prime minister? Ends my debate. Jagat no Nath, the origin of the universe, is staying at my house. I'm offering him food. Do I need to go anywhere else? Hence. But the question comes, why him? Why serve him? If he has everything, if he has made the world, if he takes care of everyone, if he's the one who's guiding us, why do we still need to serve him? Silence is golden. You telling me the method, I'm asking you why to do it. It's like Mudit asking you, Dadi, why I have to do seva? But do we love him? Aren't we those conditional people? Mane 100 crore rupees api do, I'll do a manorath for you. हाँ मारा लगन થઈ જાય તો હું પૂનમ ભરવા આવીશ ના દ્વારા. I'll walk Siddhivinayak temple 10 times if you get me this. Aren't we those conditional segment of people? Wherein we do a barter exchange with Bhagwan. Tu aa kar, then I'll take care of this. Arise, awake, and realize we're not here to create conditional format of a relation with Bhagwan. We're here for an unconditional format of love. You are mine, you are my responsibility, I'll take care of you in what capacity I can. That's commitment. And why serve him? You can only serve someone whom you can surrender. If you can't surrender to someone, you cannot serve them. Now, this is applicable in all relationships in the world. Most of you guys are married over here. You might have done something called a Saptapadi, right? Touching of those 7 suparis. In the 7th one, you give an assurance that, hey, you know what, I'm accepting you and I'm going to be your friend for life. That's the kind of commitment you're giving to each other. And while you're serving your friend, can you think about yourself? Or you're supposed to think about them? This is the homework for all of you today. You have to find an answer why serve him. I have an answer, but I'll give you that answer on the 7th day. But this is the homework for all of you. Find your own purpose. Why are you serving your Thakurji, or why do you need to serve him? Once you find an answer, do let me know. There are ways and means of having a conversation with each other. So please, gentlemen. You serve him to serve yourself? Okay, fair. I hear you. You serve him because you love him? Fantastic. Same thing. I know, please do find an answer for it. Please do find an answer for it. Okay, now let's move on. Let's move forward. And tell me one thing. How can we achieve God? What are the ways of achieving the God? Tell me the way. Show me the road. Guide me. How can I achieve him? Through knowledge. Fantastic. Gnan. You go to the higher level of consciousness. Someone said satsang, someone said bhakti. Okay? eventually to surrender. Fine. There are 3 highways that we need to remember to achieve Lord. The first one is called karma. Karma is a marga, Jnana is a marga, and Bhakti is a marga. Here, marg refers to a highway. For all those people who believe in yagna, yeah, it's a give and take relationship. You do something and you expect something in return. Primarily goes in karma. Mind away, I'm not talking about karma which is affecting you and me in life. That is applicable to all 3 of them. I did something good will happen to me is karma. But here there's a deity, there's a yagna, there's a fire sacrifice. You have an intent, you want something, and you perform the same kind of mantras. You call the pandits, they'll recite those mantras for you. You do the yagna vidhi. You get something in return. Primarily goes in karma. The second one is jnana. Yeah, someone who's fond of meditation, asana, pranayam. Most of the times people directly jump to meditation and without doing the pranayam. And they forget the first 2 norms itself, the yam and the niyam part of it. People who have intoxication expect to reach samadhi when they haven't left the vices in their own life. That's Gnan for you, by the way. You want to reach the higher purpose of self by acquiring more knowledge, by doing yoga, by doing pranayam, by doing asana, by doing dhyana. But unfortunately, we have messed up the steps in it. It's an Ashtanga yoga in which we are only doing 2 or 3 Anga yoga. And the last one is bhakti. Now I'll tell you what bhakti is all about. Most of the people feel that bhakti is like, सवार 1 कलाक भगवान की सेवा कर ले એટલે भक्ति થઈ ગઈ. Then for 23 hours that soul is wandering everywhere in the world. Yeah, probably gossiping on the phone as in, Acha, evu. See, nowhere religion is asking you to stop, don't do your business, don't earn. Nowhere is asking you to not have a livelihood. Dharmasya moolam artha. If you have to perform your dharma, now you need artha for that. It's as simple as that. ગુજરાતીમાં ગયે તો ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટીનો બિલ તારો ભરવા નથી આવવાનો. You have to pay for that electricity bill. For that you have to work. Nowhere any dharma shastra is stopping you to work. Please work. Get your artha purushartha in place. But where will you use your wealth? Where will you use your wealth after a point of time? You'll invest, you'll reinvest, you'll create a gigantic empire out of it. After that, what? There will come a stage wherein you're wondering, what's my pathway forward? And that's where dharma comes into the picture. And bhakti by definition itself refers to increasing the amount of knowledge and importance for the Lord. Mahatmya Gnana, increase that, that periphery for the Lord. Understand Him more. Understand Him even deeper. And start loving Him. How many of you all believe in love at first sight? Honest opinion. Love at first sight. What if I tell you that Dharma Shastra is also in alliance with that? You can actually love someone by just looking at them. So when we study Kam Shastra, at that time it is said Chakshu Preeti. The minute you see someone, you fall in love. Your endorphins are like on the high. You literally feel like la 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 la. It's not only that Westerners all know all these things, our Easterners also know all of these things pretty well. So stop coming in the mindset that, science is the only way of knowing religion. I'm sorry. It's a very restricted and a narrow approach to look at life. We ourselves over here, where we are, has an abundance. There's abundance over here for us to know more about our own Lord, know more about our own culture, know more about our own tradition, know more about our own legacy, and take it forward from here. So come out of the zone wherein, I perform certain things and then my obligation is over. I'll tell you a story about Sheth Purushottam Das. Who's Sheth Purushottam Das? He was one of the Vaishnavas of Sri Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya. 500 years ago, he was an owner of 50 crore rupees. 500 years ago, he was an owner of 50 crore rupees. But he could perform the entire seva by himself. Right from cooking, to cleaning, to dressing the Lord, adorning Shringar, offering samagri. And you might have even observed, if you've gone to Haveli, you get a BD. Purushottam Das used to offer 52 BDs to his Thakurji. Personally, I've seen people with great, humongous amount of wealth creating food with their hand for their own Lord. So being affluent doesn't mean you cannot serve your Lord. And the beauty about this Lord is, he's not biased towards someone who is affluent or someone who's poor. He's equally accepting both these segment of people. Once, Vedas were asked, can you define Lord? They tried defining Lord in 2 letters. They defined as Sat. Next, Bhagavad Gita was asked, can you define Lord? Gita also gave an answer that I'll define Lord as Chit. But when Bhagavad was asked this question, can you define Lord? Yeah, Bhagavad gave an answer, but it was not a 2-lettered answer. It gave the answer as Ananda. That's bliss. You want to know deep-rooted philosophy? Read the Vedas. You want to know how your soul functions? You want to know your consciousness? Go read Gita. But you want to be blissful? Bhagwatam is your solution. That's how Sat, Chit and Ananda, these 3 have been bifurcated. And that's why the importance of Shrimad Bhagwatam starts with this verse. If you can see over here, it says, Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krushnaya Vayam Numaha. Before you are supposed to take even before you make a move in life, it might be in context with investing in a property, starting a new company, investing in a new share, establishing a new relationship with someone, or even thinking about doing a Bhagwat Saptah. Anything and everything requires you to have a preface of why that thing is essential or important in your life. In order to know why Bhagavad, you need to refer to some other Puran which can give you the importance of Shrimad Bhagwatam. So you might be wondering, why is Parikshit not yet here? Why is Shukdevji Maharaj not yet here? Why is he not talking about Sut Maharshi and Shaunak Rishi yet? Why isn't that conversation going in that? Why is Narad and Bhakti not here yet? You cannot learn PhD without doing graduation. दसवीं धोरण पास ना हो तो PhD ना कराए. Who's Lord? He's Sat. He's the truth. Who's Lord? He's Chit. Consciousness. What's Lord? Who's Lord? Ananda. Bliss. When these 3 words come together, they are called Satchidananda. Can you see air? Yes or no? Thank you. But can you experience it? Is the experience part of it making you understand that air actually exists? It's the truth. The experience is allowing you to understand the air exists. But you cannot see this air. See this air. Similarly, what happens if your soul for 1 second leaves your body? Yeah, we have a singer who has sung a song called Cold Mess. Your body will become a cold mess. What happens when the soul leaves the body? Starts becoming cold, right? That soul is defining. You take a non-living thing. Let's just take, if I take this example of this pillow, and I hit this pillow like 5 times. Will it feel anything? Why? Will it feel? Does it have feelings? But what if I hit you? I won't, yaar. Don't feel like that. What if you hit me? Will I feel something? Why? And then comes the scenario when you're beyond these two things. Neither you care about the truth, nor you care about consciousness. One thing that matters to you the most, and that's called bliss. I have one question to the audience. When was the last time you were blissful? Please note, I'm not saying the word happy, okay? I'm not saying the word happy. I'm asking you, when were you blissful? Sukhi nati puchi rahi ho. I'm not asking you where you were sukhi or when were you happy. I'm asking you when you were blissful. You're so many elder people than me. You don't know when you were blissful. Tell me. You're blissful right now? I don't buy that, sorry. I don't buy that. Are you convincing me or convincing yourself? When were you blissful? Okay. You were blissful because you did something for someone else. Fair. When you're in nature, fair. Isn't it more calm and composed rather than blissful? No? Okay, fair. Thinking about God, okay. When you're looking at your own baby, lovely, lovely. I don't understand this, but I can definitely get the essence of it, what you're trying to say. Listening to music, dopamine actually. It's not blissful, it's dopamine though. Meditating, lovely. You felt blissful by scuba diving, fantastic. It's actually therapeutic. It's therapeutic. Tell me one thing, why did that happen?
So, mostly because I feel we're cut off from technology or gadgets, which I can be on nature on the beach, but I still have my gadgets, iPad.
True.
I like that.
True. Was it because you were focused on something else?
We're focused on observing what's around us.
Fantastic. I love your answer. Thank you. Anyone else? Do I also get a chance to tell you my side of story or no? The crowd is very dheela. Say yes. Thank you. Do you think I'm an oldie, a 60-year-old trying to do a Bhagwat Saptah? Do you know, na? I'm a youngster. Be young with me. I'm also trying to gel with you all. I'll tell you my experience about being Anand. A couple of days ago, it was Vasant Panchami. Heard of Vasant Panchami festival? What happens on Vasant Panchami? Spring starts. Yeah. Apart from that? New rice, okay. Saraswati Puja, fantastic. Sakya Bhakti, acha. Talking PhD, nice. So I'll tell you what happens for us, yeah. Since we believe in Srinathji, for us, 40 days of friendship starts. we get a chance to apply gulal to the cheeks of Lord for 40 days. And mind you, the person whom you love, don't you pull their cheeks? If you're still not doing, I'm really sorry. I wish to be as romantically as I can be at the age of 70 or 80 as well, if I can be. But don't you pull cheeks of people whom you love? My mom pulls it in a different way. That's a different ball game. Sharon doesn't pull it, she actually pushes it. We get 40 days of touch of Lord. It's blissful. There's disconnect because of tech is not around. And the focus is only at one place. Ananda. When can this be enabled? It's when you realize that there's nothing more than that. There's a statement in English now. This is it. All you want to be, all you aspire to be, all you aspire to all that you aspire to happen in your life is happening only because of that one element, and that's him. Your due course of karma and action will definitely change your life, no doubts in that. Yeah, the more you grow, the more you change, the more you improvise, the more you act, the more you enhance, definitely your due course of life is going to change. And that's why Krushna is responsible for what? If you see Vishwot Patyadi Hetave, it's creation of the universe, taking care of the universe, and even destroying this universe at the same time. Can you destroy your own business? Can you destroy something that you've built? Will you willingly do it? Will you willingly ever destroy your reputation? Possible? Will you ever willingly destroy your own business that you've created, the empire that you've made? Will you ever destroy your relationship with someone whom you love? Why? Thank you. Thank you. Attachment. And this one soulful source of the universe creates the universe and also destroys it in fraction of a second with zero attachment. Similar to our Bhagwat Saptah, one Bhagwat Saptah was organized in a place called Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is one place where all the Purans have actually mentioned this one place called Naimisharanya. For once, Sudarshan Chakra of Lord was revolving around the Bharat Desh, and it stopped at this Naimish Aranya, and hence it is called Naimisharanya, at one place for a fraction of a second. So the fraction of time that our eyelid closes and opens up, for that much amount of time that Sudarshan Chakra actually stopped. And that place was known as Naimish Aranya, hence the word called Naimish Aranya. Aranya refers to forest. This is one place, this is one holy place which has been mentioned in all the Purans. All the 18 Purans have this mention of Naimisharanya as a place. Now what happens in Naimisharanya? There are two individuals who are trying to have a conversation. One of them is Suta and the other person is called Shaunak. They know Kali Yuga has stepped in. They know times are worsening. They know how pathetic lifestyle has become. They have an idea what is there in the future. One of the primary factors that disrupts our growth is laziness. Humans become mediocre because they are lazy. And when laziness steps in, for all those readers over here, you might have heard of this book called as Ikigai, the Japanese way of being happy. When you read the first 5 pages, they say, if you are not active if you don't have a purpose even in your old age, you are going to age faster. જેના જીવનના અંતિમ સમયમાં કોઈ ધ્યેય નહીં હોય, કોઈ પર્પઝ નહીં હોય, એ જલ્દી બુઢો થઈ જશે. That's exactly what Ikigai is trying to communicate. And this was never a problem for us. If you see Sanatan Dharma, in Sanatan Dharma, even the last 25 years of your life always had a purpose. One of the biggest purposes was to take care of the generation coming after. So it's like my Dadaji and my Dadiji taking care of me. Or when my parents will become grandparents, they will take care of the next generation. And once these grandchildren have been taken care of, you try to find the higher purpose in life. That's what your sannyas ashram was all about. It was never a problem in India. We never had to go outside to find a purpose. The purpose was right in our house. But somewhere in the last 100 years, and I'm sorry to say this, actually in the last 700 years, so much adulteration has happened to us that we have lost our own sense and credibility of being ourselves. Why 700 years? The British, and prior to that, all the other extortion that have taken place in the Indian subcontinent. Scriptures have been burnt, women have been abducted, children have been transformed, people have been killed. Somnath, as a temple, was being looted 17 times. We Brahmins wear this something called as janoi, thread. It's hardly 100 grams in weight. Hardly 100 grams in weight. There were more than 5 tons of threads after the death of Brahmins. 5 tons. Now divide. People who are good at mathematics, 5 tons divided by 100 grams. How many Brahmins might have died? Just for one thing. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. તમારા ધર્મની જવાબદારી આ લોકોની છે, મારી છે. It's my duty and my responsibility to take care of my religion. The way it's your responsibility to take care of me, it's my responsibility to take care of you. As simple as that. Laziness brings mediocrity in your life. And this is something that has also been discussed in Bhagwatam. The second cause or the second problem that we face while growing up, we continuously blame our fate. Or we continuously blame our destiny. And that's why Shastras also said that people are manda bhagya. All the people in Kali Yuga have a manda bhagya. They will continuously blame their destiny. They won't be grateful about what they already have, and they'll only complain about things that they don't have. In case if you are referring to, it's there in the first chapter of Mahatmya, the first 10 verses after Shukdevji, after the conversation of Sut Maharshi and Shaunakji. That's where this entire reference is from. I'll tell you the verse number, wait. Yeah, it's between 9 and 22. 9 અને 22 ના વચ્ચે આ બધી વાત આવે છે. Now, for once, a conversation took place between Shaunakji and Sootji, and they were talking about why Bhagwatam. So the discussion goes in this direction that one day, Brahmaji decided, he created a beam balance and kept Bhagwatji on one side and all the other Shastras on the other side. Now, by virtue and by weight, anything that's heavy will always go on the other side, right? So if you calculate the number of books, the other Shastras should have gone down. But it happened so that in the beam balance, the Bhagwatam side went down and all the other Shastras went up. Now you tell me, what is more valued? One that is down or one that is up? ભાજીવાળા પાસે જાઓ છો, શું લઈને આવો છો? પથરા કે ભાજી? Got the logic, right? You get the fruits or the vegetables, or you get the stones or the weight? Fruits and vegetables, with obvious reasons. The Brahmaji created a beam balance. He kept Bhagwatji on one side and kept the other Shastras on the other side. Realized, oh, Bhagwatji is the place where everyone should be keen on, everyone should be surrendering to it, everyone should be reading it. As simple as that. So if that is so, why are people not realizing the importance of it? If Bhagwatam is so important in life, why are people not realizing the importance of it? The importance of Bhagwatam, which is there in Padma Puran, itself answers this question, that if you have punya, if you have benevolence of your previous births, only then you might be able to get Bhagwatam. Now for all those people who don't believe in life after death, or a life before birth, this is where your contradiction starts. Because we are not other religions who doesn't believe in life after death. If Egyptians can take care of their mummies like that, thinking that they have life after their death, we are Sanatan Dharma, we don't have a start date and an end date to our religion. We have always been believing in life after death. The only difference is it's just because beyond your imagination and acceptance of your logic, you never think that something can actually happen after your life. And it's only when people start facing problems, for example, there is someone's soul which is residing in you and you start getting disturbed, or you go through some other, healing processes. Like in Christianity, there's a healing process wherein someone invokes the soul and they start writing things down. The metaphysical side of it is accepted by people. But when Sanatan Dharma speaks such things, by the way, disclaimer, Sanatan Dharma is the authentic word in comparison to Hinduism. Unfortunately, we are living in the world which is trying to be Hindu-phobic. But let me tell you one thing, Hinduism was never a word. We are Sanatan Dharma Anuyayi. We are followers of Sanatan Dharma. Hindu word is a word which has evolved over the period of time. Do you all know how Hindu word was evolved? Yes, no? Afghans and Persians couldn't say the word Sindhu. They started saying Hindu, and that's why the name called Hindustan, Sthan refers to place, where Hindus reside is called Hindustan, and that eventually turned out to be Hindustan. Evolution of a word. In Pushtimarg we call apras, apasprushya, aparas is the same thing. One original word being transformed in some other way. Otherwise, our nation's name is Aryavart. Do you know the shape of Bharat? Does anyone over here knows the shape of Bharat? આપણા દેશનો એક શેપ હતો. Think, what would have been the shape of Bharat? It was Ardha Chandra, half moon. So all your Pakistan, Afghanistan, a part of Kazakhstan, a part of China, a part of Tibet, a part of Myanmar, Nepal and Bhutan, all of these entirely constituted as Bharat. We were a half moon by the land, and then the end part, which was near the water. There are so many myths about our own homeland that we don't know. There are so many facts about our own homeland that we don't know. We have no idea about it. One of the biggest myths that people have, that Vasco da Gama was the one to identify Bharat. If you read Vasco da Gama's autobiography or biography, you will realize he himself has referred that there was a Banya who actually got me here. He could have never explored Bharat by himself. It was a Banya who actually got him here. There was a merchant who actually got him here. It's merchant who actually showed the way to Vasco da Gama to lead to India. And how are we studying our history? Vasco da Gama was the first one to explore, was the first one to discover India. Because India was discoverable, you didn't have the guts to explore it. I believe in made in India through and through. Made in Bharat through and through. I might get sentimental in certain times. Because in my own house, the Germans have come down to take books from our library. There are 13 universities teaching Sanskrit for free. For free. For free in Germany. Now, what are we doing here? I feel terrified that we allowed a Max Muller to wrongly interpret our scriptures. And Max Muller became an authority of Vedas across the globe. It's not a pleasant sight. This is the dharma that we need to fight for. So, Sut Maharshi and Shaunakji are having conversation about Bharat. And which Bharat are they talking about? They're talking about that Bharat which actually came in the eyes of Naradji. In TV series, you might have realized that he's the biggest politician. He makes people fight. But that's our limited point of view about Naradji. A person who doesn't need visa to go anywhere. That's Narad for you. He can go in any land. Bijo adhyay pillo shlok. Vrutha khede yase balo. Aho chinta tura katham. To define bhakti, Naradji is essential. You cannot understand bhakti without Naradji. Do you need proof? Yes or no? Okay, I see a lot of people sleeping, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say something and you're supposed to say something in return to me. Okay? So I'll say, Govinda Jai Jai, you are supposed to say Gopal Jai Jai. Okay, what will I say? What will you say? Then I'll say Radha Ramana Hari, you will say Govinda Jai Jai. So how does it go? Govinda Jai Jai? Radha Ramana Hari? Fantastic. Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari. Govinda Jaya Jaya. Gopal Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari. Govinda. Radha Ramana Hari. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari, Radha Ramana Hari. तुम लोग को जमीन आ गया छो? Have you eaten something in the afternoon? Did you have a sip of coffee before coming in? Okay, next time I'll recommend you, before you guys come in, please have a coffee or tea over here and then come inside. So that you are energetic enough and your hands can actually do some job. Realized? Yeah? Okay. Do you want to try again? Sure. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Shri Govardhan Nath ki. For those people who don't take Lord's name now, you will be enemies of Lord next birth. You want such blessings? You want to be enemies of Lord next birth? Pakka? Shri Govardhan Nath ki jai. Thank you. So you know Naradji as someone who is, making people fight. But let me tell you one thing. You want to understand Bhakti, you need him. Reason being, in order to understand Bhakti, Naradji has given his own thoughts, which is called Narad Bhakti Sutra. Once you understand and read Narad Bhakti Sutra, you will realize that you are in a space and a capacity to actually start falling in love. Yeah, you need a manual to fall in love as well. See, the problem with love at first sight is, you love that person, but now you are also supposed to love their qualities. On the other side, Naradji first makes you understand the qualities, then makes you understand the form and the shape and the size and the looks. And if you want to know the biggest example of not seeing someone and loving someone, heard of Rukmini? Did she hear about Lord or did she see Lord? See the Lord first. So can you fall in love with someone whom you've just heard about? That's bhakti for you. And you might have heard of Surdasji, right? Yeah, Surdasji. Someone who never had eyes. Sura kaha kahe dvividha andaro. Bina molako chero baroso. And what a statement he makes. Dhrada ina charana nakero. I have complete faith in this lotus feet of Lord. He's never seen the Lord. With his naked eyes, he's never seen it. But still has so much love and affection, can actually tell you that I trust these lotus feet. This is something beyond forgery and imagination or imitation. How many of you all have a habit of being stressed? All of us. We're stressed about something or the other. Should you be? Do you need someone to tell you that? Yes. Yes. And this is exactly what has been defined in the second Adhyay first words. It says, Vrutha khedayase bale. You are worrying without purpose. You should stop being worried. Sometimes people have a habit of validating your feelings. Yeah, what are you feeling? It's fine. It happens. It's all right. Such is life. It's okay. The same type of validation is actually being provided by Naradji. Now, to whom is this thought being conveyed to? Whom is he trying to have a conversation with? He's trying to have a conversation with Bhakti. Bhakti is also a Devi. And this Bhakti Devi has two children. Two sons, to be precise. The first one is called Jnana, and the second one is called Vairagya. Jnana is knowledge, and Vairagya is? Hello Google, can you translate Vairagya for me? Detachment. Detachment. So Bhakti has two children, knowledge and detachment. Now the scenario of life is generally children grow, parents also grow, they become old. It happened so that they were in Vraj near Yamuna, and the children are old and the mother is young. How is it possible biologically? Recently I was reading an article, a 45-year-old CEO in United States is investing 18 crore rupees every year just to look like an 18-year-old. 16 crore rupees every year just to look like an 18-year-old. બહુ પૈસા વાળો છે. Hefty amount of money just to look young. An actress an influencer in Italy died just because she wanted to look like Angelina Jolie. So despite science has answers to these questions, I'm still wondering, how can a child be elder than a mother? And it has a lot of answers with your own heart and your own mind. I'll be very frank and honest with you. Someday when my dad will come here, you'll realize that he's more active than me. Sometimes it has nothing to do with age. It has something to do with your own mind. But biologically right now, Bhakti's two children are elder and Bhakti is very young, and she has this concern that why nature has made this such a scenario, and she's trying to find some answers, and Devarshi Narad happens to be over there and is trying to console that, why are you worried? Now, if you agree with my statement, say a yes. If you don't agree with my statement, say a no. The root cause of your sorrow is expectation. How do you solve this problem? Okay. You're far more intellectual than me. You've seen more life than me. You've heard more people than me. You've read more books than me. This is a long lost kid trying to ask you a question. How do you solve this problem of expectations? No expectation, no frustration. How do you reach there? Self-belief. Okay. Surrender. To whom? Bajuwada ne? My neighbor will take care of me. Okay. The answer is given in the next line. Shri Krushna charanam bhojam smara dukkham gamishyati. All your problems can go away if you believe in the lotus feet of the Lord. That's it. That's it. Solution. No one is asking you to go to temple 10 times. No one is asking you to meditate. No one is asking you to sit down and journal. No one is asking you to go in a self-reflection zone. No one is asking you to disconnect from the world. No one is asking you to leave any of your format of lifestyle that you have. The simplest solution in life for all your sorrows to go away is just focus on the lotus feet of the Lord. That's it. That's it. And the most obvious thing which has been told to us, we land up not doing them. It's like that small child who has been instructed not to go to a place where there's heat or where there's fire, but he'll still go experience it, come back and realize, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. Story of your and my life. So when elders used to say, take Lord's name, smara, that's smara. Smara is remembering. Some of you might be doing Vishnu Sahasranam, right? Yasya smarana matrena. Smarana matrena. It's the same thing. How these modern day psychologists ask you to go to your happy places if you're feeling low and sad. They ask you to think of happy memories. For us, there's nothing more happier or merrier or blissful than Bhagwan himself. As simple as that. So Devarshi Narad decided, you know what, I'll solve your problem. Your children are getting elder, you are getting younger, I'll solve this problem for you. He starts doing Bhagavad Gita part. He recites the Vedas. He recites the Upanishads. Those children have zero impact. And now he's so paranoid that he's trying to find an answer because somehow from the universe there came a message saying, do a satkarma. And now he's trying to find the answer to this statement or try to unlock this mystery. What does satkarma really stand for? And eventually, while roaming around the entire universe, he lands up meeting someone called as Sanat Kumar. There are 4 brothers. They're all brahmacharis. They're the first children of Brahmaji. Bija Adhyay no 44mo shlok. How are they? They are as bright as Koti. Koti refers to 1 crore, Surya. If you put 1 crore Suryas together, they are as bright as them. It's like lovers telling to each other, I'll bring the moons and the stars for you. Well, the power of 1 crore suns is actually in them. Despite being Brahmaji's eldest kids, they are technically supposed to be biologically very old. But since they are brahmachari, they are always like small children. And that's why they are called Kumar. Not only your Jamai is called Kumar. Babies are also called as Kumar. Kumar or Kumari. That's what you write in your Kankotri as well, right? When someone's getting married, Kumar and Kumari. Same pattern is being observed over here as well. When Sanat Kumar are trying to help Naradji, Naradji is also being reassured that, hey, you know what, you don't need to worry. Mam chinta kuru devarsha. when you are in a trouble, acceptance is the key of that trouble, and the second thing that needs to happen is reassurance. If you are continuously going to be anxious, that problem is never going to get solved. Psychology through Shrimad Bhagwat Mahatmya, as straightforward as that could be. You have a problem, acknowledge it. Devashi Naraji acknowledged it. I have an issue, I don't know an answer to it. Since I don't have an answer to it, it's continuously making me anxious. What's the solution to this anxiety? Go to an expert. Sanat Kumar is the expert over here. And yeah, Sanat Kumar is giving a reassurance. Mam Chinta Kuru Devarsha. I'll explain you what needs to be done. You are supposed to perform something called as a Jnana Yagna. What is this Jnana Yagna? The thing that we are doing right now. The thing that we are engaged in right now, for which you have dedicated your Sunday. Let me tell you one thing. We youngsters, my entire generation is into that Lollapalooza event right now, 29th of... even I had tickets for it. You won't believe what I did. There was some commitment and I happened to be like, I told my mom, let's do 29th because I have some function on 28th. You won't believe my function on 28th got cancelled, and my bhagya, I'm not listening to my favorite band over here, I'm actually sitting in front of you right now. I'm blessed. You need reassurance when you are not fine. You surely need reassurance when you are not fine. And that's what benevolent people in the society are for. In Sanskrit we say, Paropkaraya phalanti vrikshaha, Paropkaraya dohanti gavaha, Vahanti nadyaha, Paropkaraya vahanti nadyaha, Paropkarartham idam shariram. Paropkar, for the service of others, for the service of mankind, for the service of humankind. Rivers are always flowing with water. Trees always have fruits. Cow is always giving you milk. So are the benevolent people in the society. They are only there for the service of others. They won't think about themselves. As much as human psychology talks about taking care of yourself and then trying to help others, Dharma Shastra goes a way forward. If you get a chance to sacrifice yourself and help someone, just do it. And that's why these people are crazy. The universe terms them as crazy. But it's actually beyond your logic and expectations. And if you feel that if you're going to do something and you are assured of the results, let me tell you one thing, the result is his job. Performing the act is yours. And that exactly is being conveyed in this verse as well. It says, Sthapanartham prayatnataha. In order to get Jnana and Vairagya in their original shape, I am going to make an attempt. Prayatna. How is that attempt going to happen? I'm going to perform a Jnana Yagna, where there is transformation of knowledge, there's transmission of knowledge. Someone is saying something and the knowledge is being received by the recipients at the same time. What is going to be taught of? What is going to be spoken about? Shukha Shastra Kathojvalam, that refers to Shrimad Bhagwatam. Let me tell you one thing. I hadn't decided to speak all of these things, by the way. I had made some different segment of notes altogether to come and speak over here. But it depends on the crowd that you're addressing to and their curiosity and inquisitiveness and the vibe that they provide you. The energy that they transmit makes you change the course of flow altogether. I had zero plan of covering this today. But all I'm trying to do is prayatnataha. I'm just trying to attempt. What is this Jnana Yagna? The Jnana Yagna is transmission of information, transmission of this divine knowledge of Shrimad Bhagwatam. The biggest question, why? I think this question surrounds my generation like this. Why do I need to do this? Why? Why do I need to pray to God? Why do I need to go to the temple? Why can't I sleep in the north direction? Why can't I share my food with someone? Why do I need to touch feet of elders? Why do I need to do puja? Why do I have to do job? Why do I have to do mala? Every question has a why to it. Sometimes I feel like asking, why do you live? But then I realize, no, it's just too rude to ask this question. But yeah, there have been instances wherein I felt like asking this question to the opposite person. Because there's a difference between inquisitiveness and stupidity. And some people just don't understand the difference of them, or between them. How many of you all do some part on daily basis? You recite certain shlokas on daily basis? Can I see a show of hands? Can you tell me why do you do that? Mummy, Papa ki delu. One of the strongest scheme I've ever heard in my life is my mom dad asked me to do it. That's the reason I'm doing it. Baki, I have zero idea about why am I doing this. Yeah, it's a scam and it's a scheme. I'm really sorry to say. Though as much as obedient you are really nice human beings that you are obeying your parents. Good. Congratulations. I'm sure you have not obeyed them in other directions and scenarios. But please don't give a scheme to the newer generation just because my mom dad asked me to do it. That's the reason I'm doing it. What's your motivation to continuing it every day? Tell me. The question is for everyone. The question is, why do you do certain recitation of verses or shlokas or part every day? You feel good? Fantastic. Satchitanand, okay, meri billi mere ko meow. Nice. You're connect with God, okay. Sure. You praise the Lord, lovely. Peace of mind, okay. You said something? You strengthen the faith in God, okay, fair. You connect with the God? That's it. No one has any expectation. Everyone has changed. Huh? No one is saying, I want peace, I want food, I want water, I want wealth. I think when we were in school, we had this one prayer, thank you God for the world so sweet. Thank you God for everything. Thank you God for the food we eat. I think that was one prayer that they used to make us recite. I don't know for what, but yeah. Because that's their way of communicating and we've adapted to that way. Or when Brahmins sit to have food, they say Namostu Nantaya Sahasramurtaye Sahasrapadar Shishrohu Bahave Sahasranamni Purushaya Shashvate Sahasra Koti Yugadharane Namaha. So their way of paying gratitude to the Lord is different. Ours is different. But to suffice your entire thought behind why are you reciting Lord's name repetitively or why you are doing a part on a regular basis, enough research has been done by various universities that when you do a part in a certain rhythm on a regular basis, it provides you with certain segment of energy. You listen to any new age spiritual speaker, you take Gaur Gopal Das, you take Jay Shetty, you take Radhanath Swami, you take even the Indian counterparts of all the Kathakars that have been reciting Kathas for generations and generations. Everyone will tell you one thing in common of having a morning routine, of having a morning ritual, of having a morning time dedicated to certain things in a certain format. Why? Because your body is conducive to energy. Your body understands the environment that you are in. Example, if you have an asana, if you have a sitting area, you are dedicatedly sitting on that asana, your body won't flicker and try to do other things during that time slot. See, it's we who have allowed our phones and our laptops and our iPads during on our dining table. It's all of us who has allowed it, inclusive of me. Technically, it was not supposed to be there. So, body is fine-tuned in a way that in morning when you wake up, when you're sitting in a particular posture, at a particular place, with a particular book or your mala, it understands, it reciprocates to itself, it's communicating to itself that I'm supposed to do this task. Now you name Vedic chanting can heal you. A lot of emotional trauma has withered away of people just by Vedic chanting. Vedas have so many suktas in them, Brahmins would know it more. There is something called as Ghanapatha, wherein one verse is recited in an elaborative way just so that you can get benefit of that. And yeah, the ulterior motive. See, you communicate in your language and try to appraise the Lord. Fair and square done, no questions asked. But try to learn His language and appease Him. તમારી ભાષામાં તમને પ્રેમ કરીશ, તમને કેવું લાગશે? If I love you in your language, in your dialect, the way you want it, won't you feel good? Isn't that the same expectation that you have from your own partners? Why not learn that language which actually pleases Him? And that's why it is said, Sada Sevya, Sada Sevya. Shrimad Bhagwati Katha. Sada Sevya. So it's not once. The Bhagwat Saptah that's happening in your house is not a one-time moment wherein Bhagwatji is going to come my house, grace my house and go away. This Bhagwatji is going to stay with you for Sada. Eternity. Your generations. I heard that Orient Club is hosting a katha after 25 years. And I'm blessed that this is the very same space, I mean the Vyaspeeth, where Shri Krishna Shankar Shastri ji had recited katha. I am the blessed one that I have this, this honor of actually reciting the Lord's name after him. It's a big credit for me. જે ઘરમાં દાદાજી આવ્યા હતા, એ ઘરમાં મારે આવવાનું થયું છે. And there are more deserving people than me. My dad himself is a much deserving person than who can do this thing. And if you want an additional motivation why to listen to it, the answer is right over there. It says, Harishittam Samashrayat. Your entire focus can get into the Lord's lotus feet. And eventually you can surrender. And let me tell you one thing. When you surrender, you don't just surrender your good, you also surrender your bad. What is surrender? Ashray, Samarpan. What is it? Just to remind you, the question is for you. So the answer is supposed to come from your side. I'm not the one who's supposed to answer it. I was teaching Pfizer. I was teaching digital marketing to Pfizer once. And they were all African Americans. And they were all Middle East people. So we were doing a Microsoft call, and for 45 minutes they didn't say a word. And I started crying. I'm like, are you understanding something, or you're just wanting me to blabber around for next 2 hours? And they got so sentimental, they started writing, no, we are understanding. It's just that you're so excited, we don't feel like interrupting you. But in our conversation, in our relationship, interruption is a must. You need to tell me whether you're on the same page with me, whether you're understanding something, whether you're liking something, if you're bored, if you're chilled, anything. Yes, no, maybe say something. So yeah, what is surrender? Don't run away from my question. Answer my question.
Whatever you say is right. Whatever you ask me to do, I will do.
Okay. Okay. What else? Arey, what is surrender? Very simple question. Answer me. To forgive? Fantastic. You forgo your own will for fair. Nice. Nice. Nah, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm sure. I'm sure. I know it's good to hydrate, but I have certain norms to take care of. I'm on duty right now. So tell me, what is surrender? Okay, let me ask you this one question. Let's just say you are supposed to cross the road and your loved one is going to hold your hand. While crossing the road, yeah, you were saying something.
So surrender is trusting the other person, or if you want to say in this case God, with the outcome of the situation.
Trusting,
That's it. You manage, I'll do what I have to do.
sure,
That's what I would say surrender is.
fair. So you trust and at the same time you accept whatever comes your way, whether good or bad. So trust plus acceptance leads you to surrender. Of course, that's always going to play a role. Now, how many of us face a difficulty in actually sustaining this trust? કહી તો દીધું મેં તેરા એના પછી શું? You've given your verbal testimony saying I'm yours, but how do you enact towards it? That's a bigger question. Do you know the answer to that question? How do I ensure that my trust or my faith or the surrender that I've done doesn't get hampered? Why does everyone need to surrender? Okay. I have to answer that question? Sure. I'm not saying everyone needs to surrender. I'm asking people to surrender who feel that the Lord is actually the one who's taking care of everything. I am responsible for my own actions. Whatever the outcome is going to come is because of Him. So instead of me being worried about my own self and my own family and my everything else over here, I surrender all my efforts and my problems to Him. He'll do whatever He feels is right for me. My job is to perform. His job is to give the fruit for it. No previous experience. How many of you all have got saved by a fraction of a second, or you would have met with an accident? કોણ આવેલું બચાવવા? તમને શું મેસેજ લખેલો? Dear so and so, તને બચાવ્યો છે, જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. Huh? Did he send you a WhatsApp message? How can you say that it was him? Why is it so that our trust only comes into the picture while we are going through a negative phase in life? What about our happy days? I don't agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree. What is the first thing you do when you get a good news? And then? And then? Your mind spoke about being grateful to God. Your words spoke about being grateful to God. What about your action? What about your action? नहीं जो है मांगी You said, thank you, God. Your mind says, I'm grateful to God. But what about your action? 14th of February is coming, right? I'm sure this is the season of roses. There's a rose day, teddy day, chocolate day, kiss day, hug day, and 10,000 other days that you celebrate. And you express your love to your loved ones by providing numerous of these or one of these on certain days, and that's how you express your love. That's your action part of the love. What about God? You'll have to be a little louder. How do you offer it? You offer a God a sweet. 51 रुपयाનું कवर. गणपती बाप्पा मोरया. पुढच्या वर्षी लवकर या. How many of you all have a craze of buying a new cloth on your birthday? New dress on your birthday? हाँ fair, मोटा था क्या? सुधरी गया. And what about that lord of your house? Does he deserve one or no? તમારે પાર્ટી JW મેરેટમાં કરવાની અને એને મિશ્રી દેવાની. Do you see the hypocrisy? Not taunting anyone per se, I'm talking society. I'm not an individual commenter right now. All I'm trying to say is, your birthday, you want to celebrate like a baller, and what does the God get in return? Mishri, Monthad, Kaju Katri. That's it. One sweet. You want to have the time of your life, and in the name of surrender, what is your God getting in return? હવે થોડું ખોટું લાગ્યું બધાને. Inner conscience is feeling destroyed and annihilated right now. Oh God, he's touching some nerves. Of course I'll touch nerves. Of course I'll touch nerves, because this is not partial surrender, it's complete surrender, my friends. Say and do things that you mean. When you're surrendering to God, don't just be someone who's going to be in problems. Hey, Bhagwan, takleef paidi, please come to me. Also be the one who's celebrating it. I really liked what Vishal Baba wrote for these blessed couple. He had a very good thought that he wants to get married in front of Srinathji, get engaged in front of Srinathji. I think this is a step model for a lot of other people to celebrate with, Lord. Thank you. I'm thankful that you took such initiative of, witnessing and starting your life in front of the lotus feet of Lord. And that's why still this day, Bhatiyas have a tradition in them. They do their first mundan in Nathdwara. I happened to hear about my friend's marriage, and during lockdown, 6 people in the wedding, that's it. The bride and the groom, the mother and the father, the mother and the father, and the pandit, 7 people. Where did they get married? Nathdwara. Best marriage in the world. Similar marriage happened between Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna got married? I hope you all know Radha Krishna got married once. Are you aware or no? Say something, yes or no? Yeah, Radha and Krishna got married once. Brahmaji was the one doing the vidhi. Naradji was the one as a witness. Vrishabhan Kirti, that's mother and father of Radhaji. Yashoda and Nanda, father and mother of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. The blessed couple. And all the devatas in the sky. That's it. Once. પાઠ કરશો ને તો આવું કંઈ ખબર પડશે. Kali Keshava Kirtanat. In this Kali Yuga, if you want to surpass any scenarios and problems, the only person that can help you, or the only name that can help you, is Keshav. And what happened because of these 7 days of Bhagwatam? Sanat Kumar were reciting Shrimad Bhagwatam. Naradji, along with that, everyone else were listening to Shrimad Bhagwatam. And if you see my screen over here, you can see one lady and 2 boys dancing around that lady. That's Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya for you, by the way. Because of Shrimad Bhagwatam, Jnana and Vairagya got their original form back. And imagine devotion without knowledge and detachment. What happens when you have knowledge and detachment together along with bhakti? You serve the Lord, you know more about serving the Lord, and at the same time you're detached, thinking that I'm doing this for the Lord, nothing for me in return. What happens when there's no detachment? Oh, I'm doing something, want something. That's attachment. There's expectation. Oh, but I want to do something, but I don't have any expectations. But I don't know how to do it. I don't have the knowledge to do it. That's also a problem. So you want to reach somewhere, you need method and you need intent. If you have the intent and you have the action, you can eventually meet your goal. What if one of them is missing? You can't just be philosophical like this, that life shall make its own way, or life shall fall in place. Sometimes you have to take charge of these scenarios and fix it yourself. When Brahmins study Sanskrit, they come across a Subhashit wherein it says, you've heard this in an English format, gods help those who help themselves. There's the same thing which has been prescribed in Sanskrit as well. Only those who dare and act, gods are in favor of them. And all those people who just want to achieve something but have zero action. Here's a verse for you. A lion, no animal comes to the lion's mouth. Even the lion, who is the king of the jungle, has to go for hunting. When I'm talking lion, I'm talking about the lioness as well at the same time. No animal is going to come, hey, please come eat me. It's only when you do Purushartha, you're going to achieve something in life. And for all those people who have achieved everything in life, why don't you try achieving bhakti now? You've got materialistic supremacy, have enough money to take care of your future generations. Do you have enough which can help you in calamities? When all of these scenarios have been taken care of, your next step in life needs to be only bhakti, 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 and bhakti. Recently, I was reading about Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. They were losing vision for themselves. They didn't know how to take their companies forward. When Steve Jobs had an issue, he came down to India. The same suggestion, the same feedback was given to Mark Zuckerberg as well, that come down to India. They were not having a purpose in life despite having affluence. And the purpose was met over here in this very homeland. Now, these are industrialists, humongous amount of ventures these guys have done. Finest amount of creations in technology has been made by them. If they lost track and came down to India, I'm not surprised family from Muscat has come down to its own roots. What can make you tick? Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. That dhun that you guys sing actually has come from this verse. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Natheti Namani Muhur Vadanti. How is bhakti? Bhakti is energetic. Despite being energetic, you need not have multiple people to do bhakti together. You can do bhakti by yourself. Though it's advisable during Kali Yuga, if you have a Grihastha ashram, that means if you have a family, all the family members can do bhakti together. In one house, how many gods or goddesses or Bhagwan should be there? One or many? તમારા ઘરમાં ભગવાન કેટલા? એક કે વધારે? તમને મારો અવાજ આવે છે? Can you all hear me? Is my Zoom call connected with you? Or is there a network breakage between both of us? My question is, how many gods or how many devtas or how many Bhagwan should be there in a house? But isn't it unfair for a family of 5 or 10 and there is only one Bhagwan? Is it unfair or is it fair? Then how do we teach? If there's only one Bhagwan in the house, how will you teach all the practices? I'll translate it for you. If there's a Srinath Ji ka Chitra Ji at your house, or there's a Lalan at your house, and he's one, how will the newer generation that just entered interact with them? Or interact with that one Lord? How? What do you do in such a case? What do you do in such a scenario?
You teach through action. It's not necessarily in front of an idol.
Sure?
It's also through action throughout the day.
Sure? I hear you. That's one way.
The elders who do the action, who teach the younger generation.
That's how I learned. My grandmother and my grandfather ensured I was sitting on their lap. They were doing the seva, they taught me how to do seva. So that's one way of learning it for sure. But there's one more.
You can explain our wives.
First, they need to explain themselves. My recommendation to the current generation is first take care of your own selves, then take care of your children. Or find the right kind of people who can take care of your children. Because if you haven't answered your sufficiency of whys, oh, your generation is much faster than you. I'm sorry. Your next generation is much faster than you. How do you fix this problem? Fair, Sankirtan. Do you want to know the solution for it? I'm not going to give you one, sorry. तारीख में लिखा जाए, श्रोताओं ने जवाब नहीं दिया, इसीलिए वक्ता ने उत्तर नहीं दिया. वो तो 2-4 जन ने बोला. डिमांड एंड सप्लाई देखो यहाँ पे. सॉरी शुदेव, सबका ग्लूकोज लेवल डाउन हो गया, राइट. મંગાવો બધા માટે પાત્રા, ફાફડા, જલેબી, ગાંઠિયા, ઢોકળા, ક્રોસોં. હજી તો સપ્તાહમાં શું જમવાનું હોય ત્યાં સુધી પહોંચ્યો નથી હું. The biggest benefit of doing a Bhagwat Saptah is if you religiously listen to it, you don't need to do a Ganga Snan. In Bombay, in Orient Club, if you listen to this Bhagwat Saptah religiously, you don't have to go to Kashi. All your sins can be withered away over here itself. So if anyone needs motivation, oh God, I've done a lot of pap in life and I need to get rid of them, I've given you a condition right away. You listen to this Bhagwatam for 7 days religiously, all your sins will be taken care of. Mari nahi, Shastra nahi guarantee chha. What kind of people? Kutilascha kaminaha. The one who has done worse of sins. And the one who is lusty. Lusty is the word I'm using. Kamina refers to lusty. Not just in context with women, but in context with wealth and anything in life. Such toxic people ke sins as well can be taken care of. Provided they listen to it religiously with faith. Faith is the condition and religiously refers to dedication, commitment is the condition. If that's not there, I'm sorry. There's no guarantee then. And to be kind enough, I might answer your question tomorrow. So you can keep your glucose levels. I can keep my shardi and we can move on in life. Moving on, let's talk about Atmadev Brahmin. In order to justify whether Bhagavad Ji can take care of the things that we are expecting, there was this one Brahmin, his name was Atmadev. He never had a kid. And he was always longing for a kid. He wanted a child. One day he decides to go to the forest and commit a suicide. Not a good thing, right? The same Brahmin happens to meet a noble saint, and the noble saint tries to explain him that, boss, you don't have children for the next 7 births. Seven births. What to do? Sometimes I wonder, why do elders behave like children? If they want something in a certain way, they want that thing in that way only. It applies to me as well, by the way. Like रोटली गरम જ હોવી જોઈએ, ठंडी तो ચાલે नहीं. ઘી વાળી ન ચાલે, કેલરી હોય ને એમાં. मिल्क बस भी टर्मरिक लाटे, हल्दी का दूध कौन पीता है? We want certain things in a certain way, in a certain format of packaging altogether. And the same thing was aspired by this Atmadev Brahmin. He wanted a kid, matlab he wanted a kid. There was no second thought to it. Fine. Atmadev Brahmin is a representation of our own Atma, our own soul. But this Atmadev Brahmin was married to someone called as Dunduli. Fancy name, Dunduli. Now Dunduli is someone, let's just say, if you are the one who want to wake up early in the morning, you want to have a workout, you want to do meditation, you want to recite Lord's name, you are the one who wants to have a good start of the day. Your Dhunduli is the one who will pull you back and will say, it's too cozy right now, why don't you just sleep for a while? Yeah, Bombay has this time good cold. Yeah, it's better than Lonavala, by the way, in case if someone hasn't been recently. Lonavala is 30 degrees, we are 24, we should be blessed. So we have a fine-tuned weather, morning 8 o'clock, you just feel like cozy, and you just feel like being under your blanket, and that's what Dhundli is for you. She's the one who will always make you feel, she's the one who will not let you take the plunge or the bigger leap in life. Will make you feel more comforted, more fine-tuned in one spot and shape. So Atmadev Brahmin is someone who is blessed with a fruit. And the Mahatma is like, go have this fruit, ensure you give it to your wife and she'll have a baby. And Dhundu is like, who will eat a fruit and get a baby? Modern day logic, who eats a fruit and gets a baby? How did Ramchandra ji come? Please help me understand it. Ram? How did Ram come? How did Ram take birth? Please tell me, my friend.
Grains of rice.
Grains of rice. What is Kaushalya having? There was a yagna, Putreshti Kamna yagna, which was performed just to get babies. And you are telling me a fruit cannot give you birth, cannot give you a baby. Our logic is such, it's at convenience. For Ramchandra ji it can accept it, but for Atmadev Brahman it won't. Why? Because it's Ram, na? Authority. Chandra, Ramchandra, Bhagwan. Maryada Purushottam. Atmadev Brahman. Normal. So our own brain-based conclusions, our own brain-based logic can lead you to such statements. Yeah? You might be wondering that these Brahmins keeps on reciting certain things and nothing good is happening in my life. Arey boss, even if they're trying to do good now, you do so much bad that their good also doesn't turn out to be good for you. बोलो बिचारा ब्राह्मण अक्षत नाकता ज रे तुम्हारा पर हाँ चिरायुरस्तु बलमस्तु रिपुक्षेरस्तु वंशे सदैव भवताम हरिभक्तिरस्तु. They keep on blessing you, but your amount of paap is so much that their blessings also don't work out for you. वो ब्राह्मण का क्या प्रॉब्लम है? तुम खुद का लाइफ सुधारो ना यार. It's because of that blessing, at least your negative is evening out. Your balance sheet is getting tallied. Your net is not in negative. Now, what is the motivation for that guy to give a fruit? Tell me. What is the Mahatma getting in return? Is he getting a flat in Worli Seaface? Is he getting a Rolls Royce? Is he getting share of a company? No. But he's still giving the blessing of that fruit. Paropkar. There are some people in this world who don't want anything. They just want good for you. That's it. They don't have expectations. They're not here to even out things with you. They're just there to give. As simple as that. But Dhunduli is a brain that doesn't understand such things. She always tries to find inner meanings of certain things which don't even exist. Or she tries to add a flavor of certain things that don't exist. Fine. So you know what Dhunduli decides? You know what? I'm not going to have this fruit. I'll ensure that this fruit goes to a cow. So the cow is having a fruit and she actually buys a baby. Buys a baby. She actually pays money to her friend just to give a baby. I'm not even saying the word adoption. Adoption is still done in a legal format. Here she's paying money to the husband and I'm not sure if you'll understand anything out of this entire Bhagwat Saptah. But if you get the last line of this word, Seva Katha Rasa Samoho Nitaram Pibatvam, if you understand this line as well, that your life eventually is going to be surrounded by Krishna, and your life needs to go in Seva and Katha of that same Lord that's Krishna. Nitaram. It's a nectar that you can have daily. Imagine a doctor prescribing you juice on daily basis. Most of the times it must be without sugar. Dudhino juice, for example. But this sugar rush can be so high in life, let me tell you one thing, your sorrows won't even bother you. You all go to Nathdwara? Okay? In Nathdwara, there was a Kirtanyaji called Tolaram. Tolaramji was a very aged Kirtanya, and he used to sing in front of Thakurji. Now, when he used to sing in front of Thakurji, he never gave his eyes directly to Thakurji. He would always look here and there. He would feel the Lord, oh Lord should feel like, oh, why is he not looking at me? When Tolaramji had a marriage in his house, his child was getting married. Guess for how many minutes Tolaramji would have come for the wedding? A wedding is generally of an entire day. For how many hours he might have come? Take a guess. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours. Take a guess. 3 hours. દીકરાના લગન બાપો કેટલા કલાક આવે? Full time? 48 minutes is the answer. Tolaramji was present only for 48 minutes in his own son's wedding. Now this might be, what kind of a father he is. Logic. Tyaja loka dharman. And the society calls such people crazy. You know what? Such crazy people are only blissful. Blissful people are not normal, my friends. અને ભગવાન કૃષ્ણને જે પ્રેમ કરે છે ને એ તો ગાંડો જ હોવો જોઈએ. છે સુરાનો માર્ગ રે નહીં કાયરનું કામ. It's a part of bravery. You don't need cover to walk upon this path. Because it takes guts to love someone and not have anything in return. It literally takes guts to someone to love someone and not to have something in return. Guts. And that's why it's called the path of bravery. Eventually, a similar segment of advice is also given by Mahaprabhu Shri Acharya Charan, but I'll elaborate upon that in the next session, that's tomorrow. Gokarna advises his father to do Dashma Skand, that's the 10th chapter of Shrimad Bhagwatam's part. Eventually leave all the roles and responsibilities, go for his own higher purpose. What happens in future, now the trouble starts because the dharma in the house is gone. Dunduli is pressurized because the kid is out of control. Dundukari starts beating mother, questioning where is the wealth in the house. Not a pleasant sight. So if you feel that you're ruling right now, let me tell you one thing, the tables can turn. And that's what happened with Dunduli as well. Dundukari now started torturing her. Eventually, Dunduli died. Now Dundukari is staying with 5 women in one house. Now she's Now, these ladies are pressing upon him in a way that, you know what, you've done small burglaries. Why don't you try hitting the big shot? Why don't you try steal from the king? Let's take a plunge in life. Let's take a high road. He does. And eventually, look at the ulterior motive. Oh, if he gets caught, we'll get caught. Let's do one thing, let's kill him. Fire is kept in Dhundukari's mouth. And Dhundukari dies. Now, after certain years, Gokarna is coming back. Gokarna is coming back to his own house and witnessing that, you know, things have changed, things are not nice. And somehow, he happens to notice his brother. But I just said that Dhundukari died. Despite Dhundukari might have died, his body would have been separated. His soul was still down. ગુજરાતીમાં અને સંસ્કૃતમાં એવું કહેવાય છે કે જે લોકોની અધૂરી ઈચ્છા રહી ગઈ હોય ને એ લોકો પ્રેત ફોર્મેટમાં પાછા આવે. So if you have unaccomplished business, if you have unfinished business, you will still stay on planet Earth. Because of Dhundukari's actions, he never got liberation. And Gokarna is like, bhai, I did Gayaji Shraddh for you. I went to Gaya and I performed the most complicated Shraddh in my entire life. When males pass away, male members of the family pass away, the Gaya Shraddh takes place. When female members of the family pass away, they go to Sitpur. And Shraddh is like an acknowledgement to the ancestors that, you know what, whatever we got was because of you. We are thankful to you, we are grateful to you. That's the reason we are performing the Shraddha. Beyond our 3 generations, because it's our gene, right? You feel that we don't have love for our genetics. But genes do react. The biggest example of this is you separate a calf from a cow. And eventually, after a certain time, when they'll find each other, they'll start loving each other. Because it's genetically connected. And that's why Shastra also says something like this. Ku putra bhavati na cha ku mata. There can be a bad child, but it can never have a bad mother. Yeah, I know mothers are very protective. You have continuous worry of your own children. I completely acknowledge that fact. But sometimes let it loose for once. If you have given the right love and affection and sanskar, let me tell you one thing, they'll never go away from you. But if you'll try to possess them, it's just going to create chaos in your life and their life. Gokarna decides that he confronts that I've done so many shraddhs for you. Dhundukari is like, boss, nothing is going to happen. You have to do something more for me. Gokarna eventually decides to do Shrimad Bhagwat. And everyone around the city, everyone around the village, everyone is coming there and listening to the Bhagwat Saptah. How did he get this idea? The idea of Bhagwat Saptah came from Surya Narayan. The biggest question that we have is why do we need to pray the sun god on daily basis? Because the sun represents knowledge. Aditya namaskaram ye kurvanti dine dine janmantara sahasreshu daridram nopajayate. How can your daridrata go away? How can your poverty go away? Your poverty can only go away if you have knowledge, can go away if you have knowledge, and that knowledge can lead to action, and that action can lead you to wealth. And what does the sun god want in return? Nothing, just a handful of water. That's what we Brahmins do in our Sandhya on daily basis. We recite the Gayatri mantra and then we say, Brahma Swarupine Surya Narayana idam aryan dattan namama. Na mama. It's not mine, it's yours. Na mama. It's not mine, it's yours. The biggest format of gratitude is right here. Now, can you go to the sun and do a tilak to him? Possible? Are you Hanumanji? And look at the science behind this entire thing. The sun itself is so hot. It has so much of warmth. It has so much of energy. How do you calm that down? By offering water. એટલે જલની અંજલિ કીધી, દૂધની નથી કીધી. The way you offer milk to Shiva, sun god is not offered milk. Sun god is offered water. Natural element. You don't even have to pay money for water. Back in the days, now you do. So that same Surya Narayan is the one who's suggesting Gokarna, please do Bhagwat Saptah. Fine, this time in the form of a vase, if you will see it over here in the next slide. So Dhundukari is in that vase, in that bamboo, and eventually the 7 granthis, the 7 stages, they get knocked off on daily basis. And on the 7th day, all of his sins go away. Gokarna is reciting the Bhagwatam, Dhundukari gets liberated. There's a Viman, the associates of Vishnu come down to actually pick him up. And Dhundukari is out of his sins. Now, a lot of people might feel, hey, you know what, I'll perform bad things the entire life and my children will do Bhagwat Saptah and I'll be liberated. Intentional action which is wrong doesn't lead you to liberation, by the way. So if you feel you're smart enough to circumvene the system of Dharma, Dharma is a bigger boss than you. ચાતુર્ય ધંધામાં દેખાડવાનું, ધર્મમાં નહીં. You are smart, show that in business, show that in politics, show that on ground, on field, not at home. Because home is the place where you perform your dharma. And outside is the place where you perform your karma. So the question came that why everyone is getting liberated, why everyone is not getting liberated and why only he got liberated. Because there was a difference in intent for people to listen. While they were listening, they had a different intention, they had a different aura, they had a different approach of listening. Hence, not everyone got liberated at that given point of time. Following that, Shrimad Bhagwat Ji's verses, what are you supposed to recite when Shrimad Bhagwat Ji's pujan is happening?
Sorry, could you say that?
Sure. We'll recite this verse and we'll call it a day. So we'll recite this verse marking the end of the session today. So I'll say it and then you can repeat after me. Shrimad Bhagwatakhyoyam Shrimad Bhagwatakhyoyam Pratyaksha Krushna evahi Svikrutosi Mayanatha Muktyartham Bhavasagare. With this, we take a pause on day 1. In day 2, we'll start with the remaining portion of the importance of Shrimad Bhagwatam. And then we'll move on to Canto 1, 2 and 3. For all those people who have any questions, I'm there after this thing. You can ask me whatever you have to. For all those people who have questions today, want to ask me tomorrow, feel free. I'm going to send a link to Chaitanya Bhai. It's a Slido link. Which you can pre-feed your questions, and if I feel that they are relevant to the session right now, I can answer them live in class. In case if you have mentioned your name, I can mention your name saying that this is the question that has come by this particular person, and I can answer those questions. Since I'm a technologically friendly human being, I hope the presentation was helpful for you to understand the context of where the katha is going. I'll try to incorporate more translations so that you get the feel of what is happening around. But yeah, the titles will definitely stay in English and the images will try supporting the same. With that, really thankful for all those people who could make it. Sorry to take 2 minutes of your additional time. Yeah, we are excited to look forward for tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much and have a good day. Shri Govardhan Nath ki